know that perimenopause can turn your life totally upside down with more than 30 different symptoms? Many women expect hot flashes, but what about joint pain, memory problems, fear of driving, or mood swings that leave you feeling like a completely different person? What if I told you this transition can start in your 30s, and for some women, it can last more than a decade? Well, stick around, because today I'm going to tell you more about perimenopause symptoms, and I'm going to share 5 powerful solutions that could finally give you some relief. One of these might even be the game changer you've been searching for. Every woman needs to know this because perimenopause hits, on average, in your early 40s or mid-40s. And if you're like me, you might not even realize that what you're experiencing is hormone-related. Hi, I'm Rena Hedeman. Welcome to Thrive After 45, where we dive into health, wellness, and beauty from the inside out, especially for women at midlife and beyond. If you want to be your healthiest, most gorgeous, vibrant self, hit that subscribe button and join our amazing community. So let's talk about perimenopause. As you probably know, menopause is when a woman's reproductive years are over, and it's official when you've gone 12 consecutive months without a period. But what you might not know is that your body actually begins the process years before that, sometimes up to even 14 or 15 years in advance. That's right, 15 years, and it's called perimenopause. For me, perimenopause lasted an exhausting 14 and a half years. I kid you not. I had no clue, though, that all the physical and mental changes I was going through were related to my hormones. I was in my mid-40s, still had a regular cycle, but suddenly I was battling things I had never experienced before. Anxiety and depression for the first time in my life, joint pain out of nowhere, hives literally all over my body, and incredible mood swings. It was like my body had turned against me, and I had no idea why. That's why I started making videos on menopause and perimenopause several years ago, before, it became such a hot topic as it is now. And trust me, 15 years ago, no one was talking about it. And like so many other women, I was totally in the dark, struggling basically every day, but I honestly thought I was the only one experiencing this stuff. I brought it up with my doctors, my gynecologist, of course, my primary care physician, and even my dermatologist, but they were pretty clueless, to be honest, even my gynecologist. It wasn't until a friend of mine, who happens to be a doctor specializing in women's hormonal health, she told me about the full range of symptoms I could have, that I finally understood what was going on. I mean, perimenopause symptoms can feel like a minefield, and they vary so much from woman to woman, that's the thing. Some common ones include mood changes, changes in sexual desire, trouble concentrating or memory issues, hello brain fog, headaches, night sweats, hot flashes, vaginal dryness, trouble sleeping, joint and muscle aches, heavy sweating, peeing a lot, all kinds of PMS-like symptoms, itchy skin, itchy scalp, hair loss, and the list goes on and on and on. You can go here to get the full list of 100 symptoms in 5 minutes if you want. But remember, every individual is different. You may have many of them, you might have none. For many women, perimenopause symptoms can be pretty mild, but for others, they can be really life-disrupting. And here's the kicker. Even after you officially reach menopause, some of these symptoms can hang around for years. But don't worry. Most of them tend to get milder and eventually disappear altogether. For me, most of them have anyway. The one thing that stuck around? Trouble sleeping. I've discovered, though, that alcohol makes it even worse. It's much more disruptive than I had realized, so now I'm much more mindful of how much I drink. But that's a whole different topic. Okay, so perimenopause is essentially a hormone roller coaster. Your estrogen and progesterone levels fluctuate totally unpredictably as they decline, which can wreak havoc on your body. Your periods might become irregular, shorter, longer, lighter, heavier. And like me, if your cycle stays regular, you might think that menopause is a long way off, when in fact, you're actually already right in the thick of it. I was 45 and still had a very regular, predictable cycle when the mood swings hit me like a ton of bricks. I also started feeling angry. I mean, like, really angry. But I didn't connect any of it to my hormones. I mean, no one had told me about perimenopause. It wasn't until my symptoms became literally so overwhelming that I started doing my own research and talking to experts. I asked my friend and Yale classmate, Dr. Eileen West, who specializes in women's health, to share her insights, and here's what she told me.
A lot of women are well acquainted with the classic symptoms of menopause, like hot flashes, night sweats, insomnia. But what people don't always know is that how many symptoms are actually hormone related. If you're a woman in her 40s who's experiencing joint pain or frozen shoulder or palpitations or dizziness or dry skin, these can all be related to the hormone changes that your body is going through.
Joint pain? Frozen shoulder? Who knew, right? I certainly didn't. And like she said, there are so many more symptoms that can just pop up anytime. Perimenopause can mean so much more than hot flashes and night sweats.
I've had a lot of the typical menopause symptoms, like hot flashes, a lot of them, and sometimes just washing my hands in warm water is enough to trigger one. But I've also had a lot of symptoms that are not typical, or at least that I never really knew about, like heart rhythm variations and joint pain. And it was kind of scary to have those things happen and wonder if I had a serious condition. But I was assured by my doctor that the only condition I have is menopause.
So why does this happen? Your body is transitioning from your fertile years to the end of your reproductive ability, and this shift causes those unpredictable hormone fluctuations. Estrogen and progesterone levels are all over the place as they're declining, and the side effects can be very real. These fluctuations can cause weight gain, disrupt your sleep, as I said, affect your brain function, leading to memory loss and mental fog.
So why didn't I know that perimenopause was like constantly being pregnant? Fat and forgetful. Yippee. I look at food and I gain weight and I don't remember shit. I will literally be in the middle of a sentence and can't remember what I was talking about.
Oh, and the stress incontinence. Let's talk about that. Sometimes when I laugh or sneeze, I pee a little. I'll be honest. Has that ever happened to you? Let me know in the comments. Oh, and guess what? There's even something called urgency incontinence that affects many women too. I even shared an embarrassing incontinence story in another video, so you can check that one out afterwards if you want a good laugh. But it was actually really awful. Okay, so the big question is, what can you do about it?
If you are suffering from significant perimenopausal and menopause symptoms, there are lots of steps that you can take to get started on management. First and foremost, take a look at the diet. Clean up the refined sugar. Try to stay focused on a mostly plant-based diet. Avoid processed foods. Second, get regular exercise. The exercise really helps with adjusting and regulating mood, helps you sleep better, and helps to avoid some of the weight gain. Third, you can try supplements, and they may be helpful for mild symptoms, but studies just don't bear out that supplements do all that much for moderate or severe symptoms. For those, you may have to consider talking to your doctor about medication management. There are non-hormonal management strategies and hormonal management strategies. And I would just like to say that in terms of hormones, we really have come a long way since the Women's Health Initiative study 20 years ago, which really said lots of negative things about estrogen replacement. Estrogen can be very beneficial and very safe with new formulations and really make a huge difference. It is the number one way and most effective way to treat severe hot flashes, and also works on virtually everybody for vaginal dryness. So talk to your doctor.
Personally, because I have a family history of breast cancer, oral HRT is not the right choice for me. But I do use a local estrogen for vaginal dryness, and it has made a world of difference. It's by prescription only, at least in the US it is. I prefer the tablet form over the estrogen cream. It's just less messy and easier to insert. But like any medication, there are risks and potential side effects, so it's really important to consult with a qualified healthcare provider to find out what's best personally for you. If you want more information, I've linked additional resources and videos in the description below. You can also check out my other video here where I go pretty in depth about HRT and natural remedies. My advice for anyone navigating perimenopause or menopause: first, find a doctor who is trained in menopause management. The Menopause Society, formerly known as the North American Menopause Society, has a directory of healthcare practitioners who are certified in menopausal health, and you can search for one in your geographic area. I'll drop the link in the comments, as I said. I'm not affiliated with them, but I want to spare you some of the confusion and frustration that I went through when my doctors couldn't help me. Once you find someone, have an honest conversation about your symptoms and explore what options might be best for you. Remember, every woman's hormone journey is different, and it all starts with awareness. So we've covered a lot today. Some of the most common symptoms of perimenopause and menopause, what might be causing them, and a few potential solutions. But what about other menopause-related issues that often pop up around midlife? You're going to want to watch this video next, because knowing about this is an absolute game changer.